It's game day. Welcome to Admiral Park for the Northern Derby MND awareness round. The Joondalup Giants are hosting the North Beach Seagulls. I'm Donny Bell, joined by Dave McRae. A massive occasion. We've just seen both teams go back into the shed. They've got a bit of a surprise, I think, for some of the fans that'll be tuning in.
Yeah, it looks like they've got some special Guernseys, jerseys, jumpers, whatever you want to call it. Depends on what part of the planet you're from. But
I don't think half of them were right. I don't think anybody calls
probably
it.
Right. Well, let's hope the footy's right today, Don. But this is Joondalup do. Look, actually, Joondalup's actually pretty good in general with these rounds, and we're expecting a bit of a presentation as well. But yeah, they've got some slick-looking threads. How's that? Do you like that one?
Yep,
slick-looking threads.
You got that.
for this game. So yeah, so we'll see. Just waiting for the teams to come out. But North Beach back on the rise again. They've had some strong performances over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, North Beach. I mean, we didn't cover the game last week, but we were sort of updating the scores going around the grounds as often as we could, and that looked like they were beaten. Looked like the Willagee Bears had pulled off a bit of an upset and had beaten the Seagulls, and then the North Beach with a flurry of tries in the last few minutes got a really good win last weekend, 42-30, coming from behind to beat the Bears. Joondalup, they'd won 2 in a row until they ran into a red-hot South Perth Lions last week.
Well, that's not surprising. South Perth, and they had a bit of a stumble a couple of weeks ago, but for me, South Perth are raging favourites at the moment. The only team that's really got close to them has been the Bears, and they just pipped them. I thought at one stage it was going to be a race between two, the Beach and the Lions, but things are firming up to be. Obviously we saw the Roosters take on the Sharkies last week. They were better, the Sharkies, I should say. But that top four is looking pretty solid.
It is. I mean, that makes this a really important game, though, I think, for the Giants. If you have a look at the ladder, the Giants are sitting in 5th. They're 2 points adrift of the Fremantle Roosters. But if they go down here today, the Roosters up against Willagee then becomes a huge clash. If the Roosters can beat the Bears, then once again you're sort of talking about the fact that that there's a bit of there is that gap opening up between the top four and those bottom two teams. Yeah,
and those results as we were speaking out from last week. So you see there, we were watching the live score of that. I remember that Beach and Bears game, and you were calling it out. I'm like,
Bears were done.
They were done. They were absolutely done. And I think I might have asked to check it twice after we got off air because I'm like that looks. Reasonably impressive, and it was to come back from that. They must have scored like 3.
4 tries, I think, in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, and there's the fixtures again today. So second v 5th. So there's 2 v 5th. Look at that. It's actually the Sharks are 5th. So just ignore that. I'm a bit afraid for the Sharkies. Hopefully they can turn up, but that one will be a cracker down the bottom as well. The Bears and the Roosters.
It's not till a bit later tonight. Unfortunately, we won't be able to give you the live scores. I think that one doesn't kick off till 5 p.m. or something. So a bit of a later game. We'll certainly give you some updates to the South Perth Rockingham game. So long as they're updating the live scores online, we'll go around the grounds and keep you up to date with what's happening in that one. But we did cover that game when they met in the first round, as we see that this is the North Beach Seagulls, if you can believe it, making their way out onto the field in their M&D awareness round strip. North Beach out onto the park.
I like it.
I like it. Well, you'll see the Giants. They similarly similar colours, all in the blue and white. They're in the butcher stripes. The Giants.
No, we will have that. Actually, I like that. Hopefully they auction them off or something.
Well, there will be a bit of a presentation. I believe a minute silence pre-game as well. Seagulls, sitting, equal first really on the ladder. As we see the Joondalup Giants down in 5th place at the moment. They make their way onto the field. greeted onto the park. And certainly something a bit different jersey-wise.
Oh, look at that. Maybe the left hand wasn't talking to the right. I like both of their strips. I don't know if I like them together.
Blue and white against blue and white. And we have the minute silence to pay respect to people struck down by this terrible disease, motor neurons disease. We have seen the impact it has had on lives, and yeah, great to see both these clubs getting fully involved in MND awareness round. So round 9 of the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership. These two sides, they might have cooperated jersey-wise, but they don't like each other.
No. The Northern Derby.
Will be the Seagulls to get us underway. And the Joondalup Giants with first use of the ball. So he's going to take it a little bit of getting used to in terms of who is who out there today.
Yeah, maybe they could have reversed the shorts. So for those who are watching, if you're new, if you're from another state, so on the left-hand side, it is the Giants, who are normally like a maroony.
Normally Brisbane Broncos colours.
Yeah, and the Seagulls.
Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, the Seagulls normally are manly type flavour to them. So first penalty already.
Bullard takes it forward for the Giants, up over halfway. Sheehan in 13, but is starting at 9, with Ruther Coleman in 9, starting at 13. As they have done the last couple of times, we've called the Giants. So not unusual. They just like those jerseys. This is Joondalup attacking down that left-hand corridor. Sheehan pointing, trying to find a target. It comes across now to Smith. Smith goes wide at it to Coleman. Gets put down onto his back, and North Beach slow him right down. Now to Marshall for the kick. Goes to the sky. Should be a contest, although they just stand there and allow him to take that. There was an opportunity for him to contest, and they just didn't seem to want to.
Too easy there. It's a strange one.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad kick.
And North Beach with their first penalty use. Well,
I don't know about that.
That seems a bit rough. They picked him up. They dominated Bailey Miller. They threw him backwards. I don't think he went beyond the horizontal, but referee disagrees.
Might have got dragged into that. There was some commentary behind, I think. Good crowd in as well for MND round.
Does seem to be a nice amount of people there on the sideline, because most of the crowd is on the camera side of the ground. It's at Admiral Park generally.
Tell you what, it's all happening at Admiral Park, Don. We had the women's game there last night, the men's game here today, and then on Tuesday, I think mentioned last night, as he kicks early, we've got junior rugby league session between 5 and 6:30 up at Admiral Park, with I believe stars of, I think it's New South Wales, I'm unsure, but obviously the big boys are coming to town. Looking forward to that.
State of Origin stars running a junior training camp. I think that's something everybody will want their kids to be involved in.
There will be thousands there. Normally is. That they obviously do pretty good work, the Giants, up at Joondalup way, because I think the last time State of Origin was here, they had a good cohort of State of Origin stars there as well, and it was a cast of thousands when it came to the supporters, the youngsters, so they're doing really well up there.
Christian Smith trying to fight to his feet. Sheehan goes down a blind side. The marker went very quickly, looked early. So Sheehan goes down a short side and puts a kick through for Miller. Well, the chase probably not as the Giants would have liked there. Allows Miller to make a lot of territory, and Cranston finds an offside player or two, maybe three, and earns the penalty. Well, kick for the line. And this is the first real opportunity. We're 4 minutes in. Both teams just getting through their sets in the early going, but North Beach now with the first chance to attack the try line. Epirima plays the ball, handing that one off now to Tommy Fry. He hasn't got specially made headgear. He's still got the North Beach headgear to let us know who he is. As Wallace shows to the outside, takes them on, looks to get the pass back, but doesn't give it to Fry. Now the pass across to Gulliver Brown, inside. Tommy Fry's been everywhere. He gets hit though. That's read well by the Giants. Smith comes up with the tackle. Wallace, early ball out wide to Gray. Gray, late offload for Wallace. I don't know, well, the Giants must have known it was Gray was likely to do that. They stayed alive as Cranston bombing across field. Getting up high, taking the catch, pass back to Miller. Still on, Miller towards the line. He'll reach out and drops the ball. Referee playing advantage. Eventually he's going to blow the whistle and say no advantage. And they'll come out to the 20.
I don't think he had much room there on the up against the chalk. Although he might have had more than he thought, I think. I thought Miller was going to go over there, but good coverage on the last defensive line.
Yeah, again, I think the winger jumped up.
Yeah.
He was looking to tap it backwards, and then realised he had a clean catch.
Yeah.
So now it's with the Giants through Coleman. Well, up around the ball there, Jalen Gray, but doesn't force it free from the grasp of Coleman. And Marshall from inside the 40. Does he have the angle? I don't think he's quite got the bounce. It seemed to hit and just held up, but it could have run on. One of the best kickers in general play. And Miller, a bobble at dummy half.
Didn't sell it very well either. He looked guilty as sin.
A mistake here from North Beach. Well, we saw the Seagulls a moment ago with their first attacking opportunity. Weren't able to convert that into points. Now the Giants, let's see what they can do with the ball in hand. Scrum feed, centre field, 20 out. Come to the left-hand side. It goes from Dunn out wide up. Williams plays it now back to Sheehan. Smith. That's Cruz Smith. Dummy from Sheehan. Marshall tips on. Actually, that's Smith there.
Really good numbers on the back of the
difficult
jerseys.
to see some of the numbers, that's for sure. I'll use that excuse. I'll take it. Sheehan out of dummy half. Goes for the line and gets there. Well, no excuses for that.
Oh, there's something from nothing there. And there's a couple of hands, yeah. Looking at the referee, you can't argue there. It's just poor defending on the last line.
Well, Taurine Sheehan just gets out of dummy half after a quick play the ball from Smith. And North Beach, well, they just weren't awake to it.
No.
I mean, you've got to be awake after a quick play of the ball that Taurine Sheehan's a good chance of going.
Absolutely.
He's a crafty player. He doesn't miss an opportunity. And it's the Giants in front. 4 points to nil. Kick to come. Gus Marshall with the conversion attempt. Marshall moves in. And on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard, it's the Joondalup Giants 6, the North Beach Seagulls 0. 8.5 gone. Good start for the Giants at home in the Northern Derby.
Perfect start for them. From a mistake too, off Bailey Miller.
Yeah, from dummy half. I mean, a good dummy half runner, but comes up with the error. Kickoff really deep, right up against the dead ball line. Well, the touch judge was perfectly positioned, but he looked like he was tiptoeing along that dead ball line before he stepped back in field. Bullard. He gets up towards the 20-metre line. Now Sheehan. They work down a blind side and into the backfield, breaking tackles. It was a good run from Long, who started the game in jersey 14. Got tipped a little awkwardly there, Sheehan, in the tackle of Breen. The referee was okay with that one, though. The kick goes down to Miller at fullback, skips. Always dangerous. You've got to have a straight line against Bailey Miller. River Coleman closes down the space and makes sure he can't go any further as Bradley comes in to take a carry. Wallace at dummy half goes to Gray. Gray bounces away from one. Now coming back infield. He's got a player offside, so able to make fantastic ground there, Jalen Gray. Now from Buckley, goes from Gulliver Brown to Cranston. Cranston, he'll look to break the first tackle. Smith stays with him. He'll play it quickly back to Buckley. Now Breen. Breen a settler on 5. Cranston to the left. Wallace to the right. They're looking right. They go towards Wallace through one set of hands. The kick doesn't thread the needle and knocked on by Jeremy Wallace, and not the best of ends to what was an otherwise very good set from the Seagulls.
Well, they've got position, so that's all right. But that's the second knock-on deep in their zone, isn't it?
It is. Getting down to that end of the field with ease in that set. They were just able to roll forward a little bit too easily for my liking. So the Giants will try and arrest that. They do currently lead 6-0 on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard. They again try and work it out of their own end. Sheen to dummy half. They come to Coleman. Coleman dummies to Bullard. Gets the pass back to Sheehan. Sheehan dummies to Long. And he looks to step up towards the halfway line. That gets him into decent territory now as Long picks out Fry and Breen. The two front rowers combined to put him down. Comes back to Marshall for the kick. He's going to put up a tester here for Miller. He's already got a couple of mistakes to his name, Miller. But he takes that one well and then looks to get to the outside.
If he had no.
Well, if he could have positioned Riley Bradley there, I think he might have been away if he had thrown the pass. Because all of the defenders sort of zeroed in on Miller and left Bradley unmarked. Now, Royden Gillett out onto the field with his first carry. And now, not the best of passes. Eparama goes back and cleans it up. But a few loose ones from dummy half as Breen looks to right the ship, but getting up quickly and putting a good shot on there is Long. Now Cranston, the kick from halfway, a high one, down to White. White takes it nicely, but Wallace is there to meet him, along with Buckley. They work down the left-hand side, trying to come up with a one-on-one strip here. Gray shows enough strength there to hold on. Vunibola. He's certainly trying to make his presence felt physically, Jalen Gray. There's now Smith. Little fend away that was a little bit too easy there in the first instance, but they closed that down and spent a little bit of time in the ruck there. Lucky to get away with it. A triple pump from Tyrene Sheehan. I think a few Giants just sort of got in the way of where he wanted to go there. They'll get to the kick from Dunn.
Oh, that
didn't look comfortable there, did he, Joel? Jakey Parks.
Took it well in the end.
Well, he takes it. I don't know about well, but he takes it and it counts.
Didn't bobble it.
I could feel his butterflies. He was nervous. Now Epirama. They do start in pretty good field position though. They're up over halfway already in this set. As Wallace stepping. Had Gillett on his outside shoulder. Doesn't give the pass though. Now Miller. Well, it's actually Buckley puts the kick in, puts it out on the full. Well, Justin Buckley's had a couple of uncharacteristic moments. I know he has some issues defensively, but he's passing from dummy half. A kick out of dummy half that goes out on the full.
It's not bad footy at the moment, Don. It's uninspiring. I know, we're playing between the 30s at the moment.
I don't mind that. It's just the little errors that not used to seeing from Justin Buckley.
The lack of polish. It's very rough, for lack of a better term.
Now the Giants, that one right around the shoulders. Vunibola. It's now Coleman inside there to Bullard. Bullard put down onto his back. Coleman again. His hands on everything. They come back infield, goes around in behind Coleman. Goes out to Smith. Smith chopped down around the bootlaces by Cranston. Marshall on the short side, just rolling one in behind. He tried to flick that back infield. The referee... He waited to blow his whistle. I thought...
Not sure what he's doing there.
Well, it looked like a knock on, but when he didn't blow his whistle, I thought this is play on. We've got to keep
maybe
going.
He was given play on, but yeah, they didn't take possession. So workmanlike footy at the moment.
As you say, just playing between the thirds, both teams getting through their sets. The errors that are coming are at the end of sets, up the other end of the field. It's not.
Yeah, well, that's where you want to make. If you're going to make errors, that's where you want to make them, isn't it? That's where you want to try something on. But for the purists, it's a good league at the moment.
It's just waiting for somebody to break. There's Gray. The Seagulls not making territory as easily as they have done in this set. The Giants seem to be turning the screws a little better than they have done the last couple of sets of 6. They kick from just inside their half. White sticks a hand up. Gets a touch on it, but it goes backwards. Does put everyone on side with that touch, but that doesn't make too much of a difference. Here's Vunibola. Runs into Breen. Like the work from the referee here too. He's just letting the game flow.
The ref, I was just about to say, I was going to say earlier, we've had quite a few young refs. Mentioned that last night. Got an old hat today.
Experienced referee.
He's just letting the game flow. You always know that the refereeing or officiating is good when you don't speak about it.
Well, that was pretty much why I brought it up.
Yeah, because we
haven't had anything to complain about at all. There's another good carry here from the Giants. And again, another kick from just inside the half, this time from Gus Marshall, and I think he's put it out on the full. So
it's good. That was good pressure on the kick there. So he was probably out of position there, I reckon. He was too far up. He had to pull the kick somewhat.
Well, this might hurt a little more than the Buckley one out on the full, because he was about 20 metres out from the Giants' line. With this one, the Seagulls start inside the Giants' half, chasing up hard. Well, saw Tommy Fry coming and gets up and puts a good shot on there, Smith. Although referee might say it wasn't such a good shot. He's saying that the initial contact from Smith was too high. And a penalty to the Seagulls. Gillett. Not used to seeing Royden Gillett in jersey 17 at the best of times. Gulliver Brown goes right to the line. Not falling for a dummy at all from his opposite number is River Coleman. Buckley across the face to Cranston. Cranston, he takes them on, fends away from one. Got one of the best fends in the game. Tyrone Cranston. Buckley fires it to Gulliver Brown. Well, he's kind of won out there, KGB. Takes the tackle. Now Wallace to Miller. The Giants,
Bailey Miller.
They just relaxed for a second on the inside, steps through, explosive speed, and Bailey Miller, well, he scored a hat-trick last time these two teams met, and he's on the scoreboard with the Seagulls first, 6-4 kick to come.
Oh, he's having a great season too, not just last week. But he's been all around it. We've been getting some requests for his highlight reels and everything. Can't relax when Bailey Miller's got the ball in hand, especially late in the count.
I think last time I saw he was leading try scorer in the competition. And I wouldn't imagine that's changed because he just he keeps scoring them. Made the I think he was on the bench in the combined affiliated states merit team on the wing. Maybe on the wing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe on the wing. He was certainly in the merit team.
Is that a replay?
After a fantastic tournament with Western Australia, undefeated in the combined affiliated states and territories tournament. Cast, as everyone calls it, but I say cast.
Cast. It's a running joke.
C-A-S-T. It's a running joke. That spells cast.
It's a running joke.
A chance to level up now. Gray.
I reckon they just call it CAT. Combined affiliated territories. Because the state's a territory, isn't it?
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't think we're quite as sensitive about it as the Northern Territory are. So, you know, it seems to be the Northern Territory that are really, really sensitive about being considered a territory. So we're about a quarter of the way through this game. And we're locked up. 6-all. We go around the grounds courtesy of Cash Converters. And another game in the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership going on right now. And the South Perth Lions leading the Rockingham Sharks 10 points to 0 in that one. Because the game later on, no, not kicking off until 5 p.m. Western Australian time. Now the Willagee Bears and the Fremantle Roosters. That's one I know everyone's looking forward to.
But cracker that well.
That won't have kicked off very long before we finished here. So
I think that'll. We saw the Roosters last week, but we had a chat about. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do against the Sharks, but they weren't overly impressive, and they have had issues when it comes to close games. They've lost all the close games.
They have lost all their close games.
So if they want to keep
including
in touch,
the first time they played the Bears.
If they want to keep in touch, they need to win some of them.
Well, Joondalup, North Beach. It's getting used to it. We'll get there. North Beach getting through their set after points and getting to their kick, which is always what you want to do. And Joondalup having to work it off their own end. Now Coleman. Is there a harder worker in the West Australian competition than River Coleman? He just every set of 6, I reckon he has 3 carries. He gets his hands on the ball almost every set of 6. I reckon he makes 4 tackles every set of 6 as well. Like, he just does not stop.
He's one of those players that you mention constantly, but forget how much you mention him. you understand what I mean? Like, it's just
he doesn't do any of the flashy stuff.
It's the workman. Like, it's just reliability. The reliable footballer. And it's not even an expectation. He's just there and you're like, yep, there's another one. Yep, there's another one. And quite often you take them out of the team and they're the biggest gap.
Yeah, they're impossible players to replace.
You don't know how good they are until you don't have them.
Well, you can't replace a player like that because there isn't many of them. Everyone loves to score tries and do the flashy stuff, and everyone's trying to do that. But with the Coleman, we wax lyrical about him. A good shot put on. Gulliver Brown goes back to play it. Justin Buckley, realising it was the last, he went to throw the pass to the front rower, and then got the call from his teammates that it was last tackle. Puts boot to ball. It's a good kick. Right down into a corner.
Not a bad kick at all, actually. Didn't look press off the boot.
No, despite the confusion, he's executed well. It's been a nice tight start to this game. As Williams takes it forward for the Giants. We've got a whistle here from the referee. I'm not.
I mean, there's an injury in backfield.
I'm not sure exactly who's down.
Yeah, there you go.
One of the Giants players. It looks like, is that Cruz Smith? Yes, it is. Christian Smith just comes across, gives him the tap on the head. I'm not sure if he's holding his arm awkwardly.
Looks like he's holding his arm, yeah.
I don't know whether he's holding his arm awkwardly or somebody else gave him a little tap on the head.
Yeah, stinger. It did, yeah. I reckon, yeah, probably a stinger.
We'll go with the arm. It's a burner. Either way, good pressure on that kick, and that one might be another one out on the full. It is, well, the third one out on the full. Gus Marshall trying to claim that there was a touch from North Beach. I think there's a few Giants saying that was touched off the boot, and we've got a penalty.
Oh.
Well, I'm intrigued as to what the call is here. Who is the contact on? Because if the contact is on the kicker, then it has to be 10 metres in from touch from where it goes out. I'm not sure.
Was it? I don't know.
Well, he's saying someone's hit off the ball. Anyway, that's a technical one for the couch referees out there. Head to your rule book and see if you got that one in the right position. In any case, the Giants head downfield and will go on the attack and try and regain the lead. We've got a penalty against the Giants. With the ball in hand, well, these are always the silliest ones to give away. And we had praised the referee, but would have liked a signal there as to what that was for. I can only assume he's got up and pushed the marker. So we'll go with that. In any case, they had the ball, were on the attack, and now all of a sudden, they're on the defensive as Gray. Well, he fended away from one, left him on the deck, fended away from Tiger Williams 3 times before he hits the ground, and Gillett. There's a strong run. Buckley to dummy half. Goes to Wallace, to Cranston. Cranston out the back to Miller. They've got to take care of him. They do on this occasion. Get hold of him, ragdoll him to the ground.
Cramp there, Don. Offensive line, they almost ran into each other. Oh, good coverage.
Sparrow chopped down around the ankles. I think he started from the bench after a big cast tournament. Now Gillett. Wallace to dummy half. Plenty of pointing to other people who want the ball. It goes to Buckley. Buckley bombing across field. Cranston knocks it back. Picked up. The pass goes to the outside to Parks. Parks, he's got to keep it alive. Keeps it in field somehow.
Well done. Both teams.
Well, it's good defence. It was good scramble from the Giants. They hold on. But North Beach did well to keep it alive there at the last minute. And just forcing Joondalup to come up with that extra play every time. Now Coleman. Coleman, quick play the ball, but he falls over as he plays it, and that is going to go against the Giants. Well, he looks around for some help. Looks at the touch judge, referee, somebody. Make him change his mind. It's not going to go his way on that occasion.
He fell over.
He did.
Just fell over.
Well, they've given the Seagulls a couple of chances in the last few minutes, the Giants, as Cranston turns it underneath to Solomon. Good to see Carney Solomon back out there. It's Gulliver Brown. Play it back to Buckley. Now with Sparrow. Buckley again at dummy half to Cranston. Cranston fires a bullet. Coming back infield, Parks. He reaches out and scores.
Good
well,
pass.
Jake Parks, after the great pass there from Tyrone Cranston. Just doing Crano things, as you expect. But Parks, good finishing. Step back infield. We have another look at the wide pass. Two of the Giants chasing across. A little bit too hard. Gus Marshall couldn't quite close down the space. And he gets over to score to put the Seagulls in front for the first time today.
Yeah, and you just finished mentioning that the Giants have been giving the Seagulls every opportunity. Some handling areas, and even with ball in hand. Eventually Dan breaks.
Around the grounds, courtesy of Cash Converters. The games last night, the Westpac Women's Premiership, we saw the Willagee Bears. They led 14-0. Got a little bit of a scare from the Joondalup Giants, but 14-10 they held on in that one. And the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs were far too good for the Roosters, 22-0. A good contest. I think the Rabbitohs will be happy with the victory. The Roosters, I don't think they'll...
Yeah, look, as we mentioned in the call, the Rabbits would be happy with the points, but I don't think they'd be necessarily... I think it's one of those games where it could have gone... Probably potentially against Dave, given the cast championship. You know, had a lot of players covering from that, but we, as you mentioned, the Roosters had a few out as well, so they went great. Does that go over? It does too. Look at that. It's just an assist from the inside post.
Well, you don't get that very often at Admiral Park because the...
Quite short,
they're quite short.
Yeah.
The goalposts don't extend up as high as at some other grounds. Jalen Gray kept it low enough and thundered into the post, and over it goes. And the Seagulls on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard, they're out to a 12-6 lead, half an hour gone. Well, the Giants, they've got to get back into a rhythm. They had an attacking opportunity, gave away a penalty with the ball in hand. And they gave another chance to North Beach. Well, there's a bit of push and shove here. Well, it's got to go one way or the other. It goes against the Seagulls, goes against Fry. Well, it could have gone either way, that one. Both of them were at each other.
It's a referee, took ages to blow it too.
Well, I think that was what the penalty was for against the Giants when they were up this end last. Yeah. So he's evened the score. Now we see if the Giants can even the score. Down 12 points to 6. An attacking opportunity inside the last 10 minutes. It's Lawrence. Big body. Off the bench. Now Coleman. Fry's got him up around the head. Trying to get some back after being penalised. Smith. Christian Smith. He's put down. Sheehan. Across the face with Porter. Porter. Hard to handle. They've got numbers in the tackle there, the Seagulls. And they needed to. Sheehan from dummy half. Goes to Smith. Fires a long pass. And steps a foot on the line.
Great hands. Just nabbed him. If he was through that, he was off.
Well, the Seagulls They survive as we have another look. Pass out to Ruppiner.
Just enough on him.
Riley Bradley, he did just enough, and you saw him get up straight away, pointing to the sideline. He touched it. Touch judge agreed. Now North Beach, a shift from inside their own area. The pass from Solomon, a little bit behind Parks. To go back and retrieve it, and then just goes back infield. Shot from Smith over the top with his opposite number. Now Sparrow. Flung around. Wants a quick play of the ball. A second effort there. Came back through the middle of the ruck. There Trent Lawrence left the referee with little option.
Yeah, that was his downfall.
Well, once again, we've seen it a few times. Joondalup have had chances and then they give up that sort of 6-point turnaround or the 12-point turnaround opportunity. They had a chance, didn't take it. Then now they give away a penalty. And suddenly North Beach on the attack with Gray. Fends away from Williams. Then submits in the tackle. I'm not sure exactly why. He's clutching at the head, so maybe copped a poke in the eye. And North Beach through Hughes. Sinclair's out there at dummy half. Cranston, he goes to the line, takes them on, beats one, straight over the top. And Tyrone Cranston, well, he's put his fingerprints on it. He set up the first.
Something from nothing.
Well, a Crano special. And the Seagulls extend this lead with 5 minutes before the break. There's ball out in two hands. Everyone was worried about the runners on the outside. Overread that one, Payton Porter. And when he got one-on-one with the fullback, there was only going to be one winner. Well, the Giants, they scored the first try. 3 back-to-back.
Just discipline.
Yeah, it has been discipline that's helped them. Well, that's the thing, you come into a game like this and like if you are the Giants, you do have to be perfect. The North Beach side, they're a classy outfit. They're equal top of the ladder for a reason. That's why we see them go out to a 16-6 lead just before the break, because they're equal top of the ladder with the South Perth Lions, and go around the grounds courtesy of Cash Converters. They're the Lions out to a 14-0 lead over the Rockingham Sharks down at Franklin Offshore Stadium. Gray doesn't need the post to help him this time. He puts it right over the middle. And the Seagulls, they are out to an 18 points to 6 lead on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard as we have another look. Cranston doing it all himself, goes straight over the top of Smith there to score. He was sliding across, but couldn't prevent the try. We got 3 minutes until half time, and I tell you that the Giants, they will not want to get any further behind if they are to be a chance of coming back into this game. As these two teams, they met back in round 5, and the Seagulls were convincing winners then, 40 points to 0. With Bailey Miller getting a hat-trick that day, as we spoke about. They look at an early shift again, and they're down this touchline, and away goes Parks. Stan White rounds him up from behind. Now Cranston. Cranston goes to Epirima. Epirima's put down. We'll play it back now to Sinclair. On the front foot, Gulliver Brown gets it out to Breen. Breen put down. Sinclair, they keep working this side. Well, he's found legs every time he's tried to put in the little grubber in behind, Jeremy Wallace. He's found the legs of the opposition. Has not been able to thread the needle on any of the occasions he's trying to put through that kick. Perhaps he might try a different option next time he gets down into this sort of territory. As we hear the whistle and a penalty blown. Well, this is a great chance now for the Giants. We talked about the possibility of them going further behind at half-time. If they go into the sheds down by only converted try, I think they'll be pretty happy with their efforts. They'll get a lot of confidence if they can go to the shed with some momentum. First tackle's up around halfway. Goes to Coleman. Coleman floats one out to Smith. Christian Smith fends away from Wallace before he is ridden to the ground by Hughes. Good charge here from Lawrence. Winds up. Breen, though, controls the ruck. So it's a slower play of the ball than they would have liked. Coleman to Marshall. Marshall out to Smith. Smith bursts through. Fullback to beat. Gets the pass to the outside. And the Giants score through Stan White. Improves the position. Well, that's a big play in the last minute of the half.
Great time to score it. That run down the right edge too. They looking a little vulnerable down there. They hadn't really put much together, but a bit of turn of speed here. Look at this, gets through that first one. Draws the defence on the right. As soon as he offloaded that, it was always going to be up high. And if they can convert this, it's just 6 points, Don.
Absolutely. Just got through saying exactly that. If they can score here, go into the sheds, only down by a converted try, it changes the whole complexion of the game. I think the Giants, when they've had the ball, I mean, they haven't given away penalties and given away field position. They've looked well and truly in this contest. They don't look like a team that's running fifth on the fuel to go and play Premiership ladder. Gus Marshall knocks over the extra 2 points. It is 18 points to 12 as the halftime siren sounds. We see that fantastic run from Cruz Smith just burst through a couple of would-be defenders from the Seagulls. I think he could have stepped inside and beaten Bailey Miller as well, or run straight over the top of him with the mood that he was in. They weren't going to stop him. He goes with the pass to make a bird of it out to Stan White. What a way to finish the half for the home side here in M&D Awareness Round, the Northern Derby.
Well, we've got a game for the game set up now. It was good. I mean, the later stages of that first half, I thought that North Beach were ready to open up the can, but that last Garth try in the last minute.
Yeah, right. It felt like that it was on a bit of a precipice. It could have gone either way. The floodgates might have been about to open for the Seagulls, but Joondalup strike right on half-time. We've got 3 tries in that last 10 minutes to give us a real contest. 18-12 at half-time. We'll take a break. Be back with the second half shortly. Well, g'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. The second half of round 9 of the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership. Round 9 clash to the Northern Derby between the North Beach Seagulls and the home team, the Joondalup Giants. It's the visitors leading at the break, 18 points to 12. The Giants, though, with a try right on half-time. For them to go into some momentum, and they get some more from the kickoff. The kickoff bounces over the head of Jeremy Wallace and goes over the dead ball line. That'll be a goal line dropout. Well, what a start to the second half, Dave McRae.
That's not a bad start, is it? Finish the way you start, or start the way you finish. Either or. Oh, that's a shocker, that one.
Well, that's that's the shape of the wonderful ball we've got in this game.
It's a beautiful ball. Wonderful shape. I love it.
I don't need to ask you your favourite shape.
No. It's like the egg. It's good.
Well, here we go. With the Giants, a chance to potentially level it up. A little bit of a bobble there. They come up with it, though. Now with Coleman. The flat pass, and it's intercepted by Gray, and they will not catch him. They won't go close. He can trot in and score this try. He teases them. He just jogs the last 30 metres. Jalen Gray with an intercept against the runner player. What an opening 2 minutes. Well, 1 minute and 20 seconds we've had in this second half.
Jeepers. I just, even the cameraman confused. Just like a seagull and a pack of chips. Swooped in. Oh, he's a sea eagle, isn't he? Swooped in. And you're right. I think at this point here, he's like, I think I've had enough here. I think I've done enough. He was pumping. But what a good way to respond. They've just let him try the last 30 seconds in the first half, and then they've let that kick off. Forgettable, regrettable, and just responded like that. That's pretty good.
Well, that can happen when you go right to the line, try and find the right target. I tell you, wasn't hoping to hit Jalen Gray right on the chest. As soon as he caught it, there was no chance of anybody catching him. He made it a closer race than perhaps I think it should have been, but they never did really get close. And instead of levelling, well, it's something we spoke about a few times in the first half, those 12-point turnarounds. Here we see again a huge moment. Changes the course of this game as we have another look. Just latched onto that pass. He was standing right up there in the attacking shape of the Giants. And from North Beach, you're out to a 24-12 lead on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard.
Just like that. That's what good teams do.
And kick off again down to the Seagulls, and Sparrow. He brings it back at long. Now with Breen. Breen's put down onto his back. They slow him down. Long and Sheehan. Wallace tipping that one on. Hughes put down. Gulliver Brown. So a little bit more conventional, this set of 6, after a frantic opening couple of minutes to this second half. Cranston puts the kick downfield. White gets hold of it. Brings it back centre field. We'll go around the grounds while we've got an opportunity. Courtesy of Cash Converters and the Val Murphy Trophy, the reserve grade competition here in Western Australia. The Alkimos Tigers in 6th place have caused a bit of an upset, beating the 3rd placed Ellenbrook Rabbitohs 52 points to 10.
Jeepers.
Now, the other game's going as you would expect. The North Beach Seagulls in top place, beating the 9th place Giants 30-0, and South Perth beat Rockingham 44 points to 4. Back here, it's 24-12 in favour of the Seagulls. as the Giants just go up over halfway in this set. Sheehan at dummy half. Puts a little chip over the top. Needs a bounce, doesn't get one. Cranston covers it up. Well, that's that good half-back play. Cranston just sweeping around in behind, cleaning up the crumbs. And outsmarting Taurine Sheehan on this occasion. The ball's come free. Well, it can't be play on. It had to be a whistle one way or the other. It's gone against the Giants. He looked. I don't think the referee knew what had happened. He looked to his touch judges for assistance, and they've given him the penalty call. So Solomon goes to Epirama. He gets rattled. Now Sparrow. Punching him behind the ruck. Good strength from Brad Sparrow. We play it back to Sinclair. Gulliver Brown to Wallace. Short ball to Hughes. Hughes. He's chopped down. Wallace wants it again here on the right. And gets it. He's got Miller. Goes across the face of him. Out to Gray. Gray just stands in the tackle. Always hard to put down. Miller to Breen. They try the crash play. I don't know whether the Giants were expecting that. Now Sinclair goes to Wallace. A little dab kick over the top. They get in each other's way. And Gulliver Brown with a KGB. It's not a secret anymore. A try to Callum Gulliver Brown. And this one, well, Joondalup, they look like they had it covered. They get in each other's way. They knock it on. And Gulliver Brown pounces on the loose ball. That is a gift from the Giants. A good try. Stretches their advantage. We said before the Giants scored that try right on half-time that there was a bit of a feeling that the floodgates might be about to open. The Giants scored, went in with momentum, great kickoff, had an opportunity to level the score. Since that's gone against them, well, it now feels like the floodgates are again in that position where they're about to crack open.
It's a 12-point turnaround, Don.
Well, that one a little bit fortuitous. Jeremy Wallace, again, we said in the first half, he's tried to thread that grubber kick into the in goal on a few occasions when he's got down in this sort of territory. That time went over the top. Didn't have to thread a needle, just goes over the top. It wasn't much of a kick, to be fair. It was just into the in goal, but it was between two players and nobody called for it. They ran into each other, causing the error. As we'll have another look at it. Again, the little dab kick just goes between players. There was enough Giants there to diffuse that situation. Unfortunately, there was too many cooks spoil the broth. And now it's 30 points to 12.
Japers, that's 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes. The way we finished that first half, I thought the Giants would have gone into the rooms feeling really full of confidence. Northwest, what good teams do, don't they? They just hit you when you're down. Just keep hitting you.
Absolutely. That intercept try, I mean, those can really break you when you're firing, trying to level the score, and all of a sudden you look up and there's been an intercept taken and you're down by 12. That can really hurt you mentally.
Yeah, those type of plays too. That interception was fantastic. Those type of plays, they're going to they could just lift your team and just put a bit of a dagger in the hearts of the opposition. You've just scored a try heading into the break. You've done well on the kickoff, and then out of nothing, just pulled something, a rabbit out of the hat. That's actually a good take.
Well, again, I think this might be a penalty for a hit on the kicker. Right. Again, just trying to put some pressure on, overdoing it, overcooking it. And suddenly you put yourself under pressure once again as Gulliver Brown. He scored one, he wants more. Sinclair at dummy half. Goes to Wallace. Wallace fires the long pass. Early ball to Jalen Gray. Good tackle there from Tiger Williams. Trying to rip the ball from his grasp as well, but he can't get it. Miller out at dummy half. He'll go through and score his second.
Double!
Well, that's not the most scintillating try he's ever scored, but they all count for 4 points. Just gets out of dummy half. Williams left in the ruck. One marker. No one really in behind the ruck, and he scores a rather simple one.
He does that a lot, though, doesn't he? Just in the right place. You've got to be mindful of Mr. Miller when he's got ball in hand. And again, straight from dummy half. Almost the defensive line just had to sit there and watch him.
Yeah.
Like, what? Really? You're really doing that? Yes, he is. And he'll do it again, and he'll do it again, and he'll do it again.
It's simple stuff, but I mean, it was great identification from him that the play the ball from Gray, there was a player left lying in the ruck. They were scattered a little bit, and he just takes advantage. And his speed, he does not need an invitation.
No.
Goes around the grounds, courtesy of Cash Converters. The other game going on in the Fuel to Go and Play Premiership. The Rockingham Sharks did score, got it back to 14-6, but South Perth have started their second half pretty well as well. They're now out to a 24-6 lead in that one.
Just on this last one, Don, as well, I think it's a lesson for the defensive line as well. Getting set is one thing, but when you're flat-footed, you can be opened up pretty well. And for those at home, all the youngsters, if you're wondering what I mean by flat-footed, you've got to be nimble, you've got to be on, ready to go, because someone like Bailey Miller, when he gets out and runs that line, you've got to be able to move left and right. And if you're flat-footed, if you're off your line just an inch, that's all you need.
Jalen Gray, he's been perfect with the boot. We're out to a 36 points to 12 lead. Here the Seagulls.
Yeah.
See once again the effort there from Bailey Miller to score that try. North Beach. Well, this is it's been a very impressive start to this second 40. The Giants came for them. They had a crack. It feels like they've broken them. Here in the early stages of this half as Fry takes it forward. And again, we've got a penalty. Well, Tommy Fry seems like he's got a bit of a target painted on him. They've gone hard at him a couple of times today. Don't know if there's a story there at all, but it has seemed to be a bit of a running battle between the Giants and Tommy Fry. At the moment, it's Fry against the world, and he's winning. They're up 36-12. Wallace goes to Cranston, short ball to Sparrow. Sparrow, geez, he's been hard to tackle. Again, they get 3 in there and lift the leg. Gus Marshall spends as long as he's allowed to in the ruck. Fry again. This time they go low. Chopped down by Coleman. Sinclair to dummy half, goes to Cranston. Cranston out to Solomon. Solomon chopped down by Vunibola. Good tackle. Pass to Cranston, caught it down around his ankles. It'll be a contest, and getting up and taking it, Riley Bradley has a little bit of a juggle. They take the toddler out beyond the dead ball line. Referee has a chat to the touch judges. It was a juggle. I don't think it touched anybody, and it will be a try to Riley Bradley. Well, there was a youngster not in the right spot in the in-goal area. Could have made a tackle herself there, the young girl in the in-goal. All of about 2 years of age. Could have ended badly. The players, there's a few players gathered around and made sure she was okay. The try to Riley Bradley, not to be discounted. North Beach, they are really exerting their dominance now. 40 points to 12 with a kick to come. Bradley, he's going to be a target in the air. You can see in that huddle, he's a tall unit. Stands up above them. And he climbed up above them there. Get another 4 points. Jalen Gray with the conversion attempt, trying to keep his perfect day going. And waved away. Well, we've got one up, one down. Referee says down. So, there we go. We've got no goal there. So 40 points to 12. We have another look at the Bradley try. Had a juggle. I think they've got the right call, although he may have just flicked the shoulder there of Isaiah Rappana. Now North Beach. Jeez, they put this gap on really quickly. Only 18-12 at half time, and Joondalup well and truly in the game, but they've shown their class here. The opening 15 minutes or so of the second half. It's Kate Breen. Takes that hit up before the kick from Wallace, in a good position. Bradley coming through again. Picked up by Rappana. Loose ball after the contest. Either knocked backwards from Joondalup or knocked on from Bradley. They got the ball. Well, they need to find some points, and they need to find them quickly. If they are to give us a ridiculous scoreline of 40 all or 44-40 or something.
It's only been 15 minutes as well.
Exactly, there's time.
Bang, bang. It's just...
There is time. But they seem a long way from it. Right now is Gus Marshall. Puts the kick down, taking it above the head. There, Jake Parks. He's had some good moments here in this game, Parks. Now Miller. Dummies on the outside. Luckily the Giants awake. As Coleman falls over. Miller's clutching at his nose. Now Cranston. Cranston to Epirima. Chopped down low by Vunibola. Now at a dummy half goes Cranston. Cranston, he wants a quick play the ball. Epirima waits. Goes to Solomon underneath the Fry. Fry,
there was no arms there.
Again from Cruz Smith. Well, this battle on Tommy Fry continues. That's a high kick. He has to wait a long time, Leon White. And they're going to say tackled in the air.
Yeah, I don't know if, well, that's not necessary.
Cruz Smith's run a long way there.
They've all got new jumpers. If you're just joining us, of course, if you're confused, that is the Seagulls in the predominantly white and the Giants in the blue stripe for MND. And they're just testing the manufacturing quality of each strip, of course, there. But I think if it's a speed again on replay, I think
it was in the air. I think they've called him for the high shot.
Yeah. I think
he's ducked down.
worthwhile. It's worthwhile having a chat there, and that 1,000% not necessary. I mean, for me it was 50-50.
Yeah, Crew Smith running a long way to escalate that when it wasn't required. I think that would be the exact conversation the referee is now having with Marshall. Now having the same conversation with Jeremy Wallace, and I think we're just going to get on with the game after all of that.
Let's play some footy.
Absolutely.
That was my fault, Don. I had the referee mic off. I'd like to hear that. Just don't be naughty, boys, is what he said.
Yep, that was what I heard.
No naughtiness.
Now Booney bowler. Well, can the Giants give their fans something to cheer about here in the Northern Derby? It's Bullard. Runs into his front row partner. Booney bowler breaks through. Fullback to beat. Takes him on.
Leg.
Chopped down by Bradley. Now Sheehan goes across with Dunn. Dunn bounces away from Gray. Flung to the ground by Wallace. Plays the ball back to White. White now goes to Sheehan. Sheehan tipping that one on to Bullard. Bullard thought about an offload, couldn't get the ball free. Sheehan waits at dummy half. Goes again with Dunn. And again Jalen Gray in right place, right time. Snaffles another one. This time at least he had some Giants in front of him to prevent him going the length. I don't know whether he wanted to go the length again.
Well, look, it wasn't a bad set. Kick was a bit off. But they just need more of that. The Giants give their home crowd something to cheer about. They've been bad. The Seagulls have been really good. I mean, those little glimpses of concentration, that lack of that, just to see there straight from dummy half. Again, another good run. Just need to sharpen up. That's what good teams do. Up to the fourth already. Kicks early.
Little kick there from Wallace. It sits up. It doesn't get the bounce. It sits up very nicely for the Giants. We go around the grounds courtesy of Cash Converters. Kerry Cummings with a hat-trick for South Perth as the Lions out to a 28-6 lead over the Rockingham Sharks. It's Coleman.
There you go.
Runs a long way before he gets to the other 13, despite the fact he's wearing 9. He's played 13 all day. Runs into Gulliver Brown and a good carry. Booney bowler broke them open a moment ago. Not on that occasion. Coleman another carry. We'll play it back. Sheehan looking around for somebody that can kick, and he finally found somebody in Brodie. Dunn. He had a bit of time to put a kick up, and he puts up a good one. Down to Dudunsky, who's out onto the field. The North Beach in the yellow headgear.
Geez, they're really trying to work him over at the moment.
Looks like, I'm just wondering if Bailey Miller's left the field.
I think he has, because I'm confused. I thought that was Miller. It's not.
It's Riley Bradley, who's gone back to fullback. I did see he took the last catch at fullback, and obviously Bailey Miller, young fellow, has had a big cast tournament.
If you're just joining us, WA, I just have to remind the viewers. Just drop that one. WA taking the double, first time in 10 years.
Fantastic, undefeated as well.
Undefeated,
men's and women's.
Yeah, do it like that, eh? And there's no need for that. Just go. Just take the penalty. Go quick.
Well, they've got a few players in front at the moment, so they've got to wait for them all to get on side. Yeah, just a little bit of afters there from Cade Breen. Big man on the Giants fullback. Leon White didn't like it too much, and
big week of rugby league in WA. Don, reminder, all those watching, make sure you get your ticket to the Dolphins. HBF Park. Saturday. It is Saturday, isn't it? Saturday week.
Saturday, yep,
Saturday week.
Well, today week.
Today week. There you go. And not the future. He's current, isn't he? He's the current coach. He is. I guess he is. Is he appointed officially? He is.
He's officially appointed. Mel Meninga,
coach of the Perth Bears, as the Giants make a meal of that one. We were discussing this off air. Is he going to do a Q&A at the Dolphins game? No idea how that's going to happen.
I don't know how it's going to work.
Whether they're going to do it.
Have him in the middle of the field and just shouting questions at him. I don't know, but there is some
questions.
2 o'clock, I believe. The 2 o'clock. The game kicks off at 3:30, so it's an hour or so before kickoff. A chance to get down and hear from the Bears' new coach, Mel Meninga. First coach, inaugural coach.
Yep.
What a man to have on board. The Perth Bears.
He should drag with him some talent, you'd expect. He's got good relationships with a lot of talent out there as coach of Australia. He should hopefully convince a couple of stars as we see a turnover here. Hopefully a couple of stars to make their way west. And why wouldn't you, Don?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, actually that's a really good question to ask you. I mean, you, of all people, are more equipped than anyone else to answer that question. Coming from the east, making WA your home.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no reason not to do it now because we've got our own franchise. Got everything here.
Came for a week, stayed for a lifetime.
There you go.
Couldn't leave. Well, some pressure put on Booney Bowler there. Pass up above his head. Carney Solomon right in his face. He does well to not put that one down. It's Favell. Takes the next carry. Coleman, he slips over as he gets right in the middle of the field. Smack bang in the middle. Now Long. Carries it forward another 10 metres. Coleman out the back to Marshall. Marshall to Smith. Smith tried to get the arms free to throw the pass, and he puts it down. Epirima cleans it up. Now Bradley. Solomon. Looking for a carry. Looking for any sort of space. Epirima, that one slips up over the head there of Parks.
Doesn't need a head. It's fine.
Well, he gets up with a smile still on his face.
Everyone
despite the fact he's missing a couple of teeth after that shot.
And a bit of faculty. Yeah, that's a good one. Better chin music. He's asked a question. Sir? Can you help me find my teeth?
North Beach looking to heap further pain here on the Giants. It's Cranston to Epirima. Looks to bounce away from the first attempt. Sheehan stays with him. Gulliver Brown steps off the right. Beats Coleman. Spinning through another tackle. Put down by Smith. Now Wallace. Wallace to the line. Steps off the right. Pass back into Breen, and I don't know where Breen was looking.
Yep, that's a fine pass track there. I've just called out Jeremy. No, it was nothing wrong with what Jeremy did.
No, that was
just not looking.
The front rower just he was a paperweight in the middle of the field.
Traffic light. Up in the top end, it's Chico Motlop Shield. The Dragons taken on the Rabbitohs, and currently the Dragons NRL NT led at 10 points to 4. I think they're probably in about the 35th minute.
It's good to see that the Rabbitohs putting on a good show on the Chico Motlop Shield. Very important event every year up in the Northern Territory. This is MND awareness round, as indicated here by the two fantastic special jerseys put on by these two teams, the North Beach Seagulls and the Joondalup Giants. We talked about the fact they don't like each other, northern rivals here in Western Australia, but they get together for a great cause in this game, looking to raise money for MND awareness. At the moment it's the North Beach Seagulls comfortably leading 40 points to 12. And there's a pass back to a player that looked like he was in the same jumper, a one-on-one strip from Tyrone Cranston. We go 1-1-1.
1-1. Yeah, that's all happening.
Well, we end up on the same blade of grass. We don't go anywhere, but a lot happened.
We've had 3 changeovers.
Well, Sparrow. Again, proving a handful with a strong carry. Play it back to Sinclair. Gulliver Brown to Wallace. Wallace gives a good ball to Gray. He goes straight through, pass back infield to Wallace. Wallace has Bradley backing up on the inside. That is as good as it gets. Rugby league at its absolute best. That is how you play it.
That was beautiful to see. Look at the spread here. So draws it in there. Dummy runner coming in on his right. That there, once he gets through there with his arm free. Oh, chain of what, 6 passes? That was fantastic. And in the end, he goes over untouched. That's great to watch.
There's a great line run by Gray. As soon as he burst through, you kind of felt like that was going to end in 4 points.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's only going to go one way.
He looked outside, he looked inside, he made the right option. Jeremy Wallace did the same.
Defence was chasing. And again, Wallace had a hand in that. The veteran.
Oh, you'll love that.
I've called him a veteran a few times this year.
I was going to say, players love it when they get to that stage where commentators start referring to them as veterans. I've done it a couple of times, end up with a few DMs. Yeah.
Well, he would have played.
He's been around a while.
Played 100, at least 100 grams. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Easily. Premiership player.
Around the grounds, courtesy of Cash Converters. South Perth Lions look like they've got their game well in hand at Franklin Offshore Stadium. 34-6 they lead the Rockingham Sharks, and we're not too far away from kickoff in the Willagee Bears up against the Fremantle Roosters. That one kicking off in about 5 minutes' time.
See it again.
So we're not going to have too many updates as we see this try again. Really well worked. The signal let everyone know. He should have 2 fingers up there though. I think Riley Bradley. That was his second. He scored my second try. Yeah. Suddenly 46 points to 12 on the Craigie Tavern scoreboard. It's been a wonderful second half from North Beach. It was a bit of an arm wrestle in the opening 40. North Beach, they've really run away with it here in the second half. 8 minutes left on the clock. 46 points to 12. Looking to put 50 on. Raise the bat as Epirama goes out wide of the Solomon. Solomon steps off the left foot, tries to find a lazy defender on the inside. Gus Marshall said, "That's not me, sir." Makes the tackle. Now Epirama back in behind the ruck. Runs into Lawrence and Marshall. Going out a dummy half goes Sinclair. Not sure if it might be Tom Sinclair's debut, I'm not sure. In the 14 jersey. He's done a good job. The bomb goes down towards White. White comes forward, doesn't take it. It's taken by Bradley. He flicks it out, knocked on there. And they're going to say play on. North Beach
0.
Repeat set of 6. Dudunsky will play it. Jalen Gray Goes down a short side and will score the try. Well, they were on their heels there, the Giants. Asleep on the blind side, and Jalen Gray wakes them up as he slams the ball in the in-goal area for his second.
Well, they're sharing it around. We'll see it here. Now, yeah, he's just gone right there. Hand up the hands up from the... Come on, lads, really? Help me out here. It's party time. They're putting on a cricket score.
Well, that all came again from contesting the bomb.
Yep.
Riley Bradley.
That's a good kick too.
Exactly. It just measured the kick perfectly. It was just high enough to allow the chasers time to get there as it came to earth. Bradley leapt up, climbed high, took it. It was still the last when he claimed it. Flicked a pass out the back, which was knocked on by the Giants. It was a bit of a speculator. He got away with. They get a repeat set and first play.
I think the result. I think I don't think he spilled it out the back, but it wasn't. It's definitely knocked on by the Giants. Off the hands and feet.
Not textbook stuff, but got a result for the Seagulls as they do raise the bat for the half century. Bradley.
He's sent that wide, has he? Up the top end. The Dragons have gone over again. They've extended their advantage 20 points to 4 over the Rabbitohs in the Chico Motlop Shield. NRL NT. And we've got just over 5 minutes remaining in this one.
Around the grounds, courtesy of Cash Converters. In the other games in the Val Murphy Trophy that we didn't go through before, the Kalamunda Bulldogs in second place have got a 22-0 win over the Kwinana Titans. And the Willagee Bears caused a bit of an upset. They're in 8th place in the Val Murphy Trophy and a 28-22 win over the 5th place Roosters. Back here, 50-12 North Beach, looking to use the ball early in the set. Now Solomon. We're into the final 4 minutes of this game as Gulliver Brown looked on the inside but just didn't like that option, takes the tackle of Bullard. Now coming back in behind the ruck is Hughes. Kept the other side of halfway as Wallace again will go to the sky. Leon White, he has to stand underneath it for an age. He puts it down. Bradley's in his face again. He gets pushed over though and gets a penalty. Well,
he's lucky.
Yes. I don't envy him. That was up in the air for an awfully long time, standing there trying to keep your feet moving.
With the chasers charging down at you.
Knowing you got out-leapt on the last time this happened, hearing the footsteps coming. we can build it all up and try and put you in Leon White's shoes.
Daunting.
It's not a good place to be. Puts it down, drops it backwards luckily though for him, and then gets pushed over as he tries to clean it up and gets a penalty. For the Giants, Smith runs into Wallace. Plays it back to Sheehan. Goes to Coleman. Now to Dunn, and Dunn gives the short pass there to Bullard. Bullard again trying to rip the arms free to try and get some sort of offload. Coleman from dummy half. Goes out now with Marshall, little chip over the top, needs a bounce, it sits up nicely, pass back into Coleman, and slapping at the ball, Tommy Fry. The ball's come free, and they're going to call the knock on. Tommy Fry definitely slaps at the ball, but I don't think he actually hits it. So he just hits the arm, and
that's all you need.
Causes the knock on. You see a few of the Giants players claiming that was knocked on by North Beach, but that's not the way the referee's going to rule.
No.
North Beach starting from deep inside their own territory, but you'd imagine they might look to have some fun here, maybe put a cherry on top. What's been a pretty comprehensive performance, particularly in the second half. It's 18-12.
Oh, just
they led at half time.
Ridiculous second half. And most look there, it was set up in that first 10 minutes or so. Went bang, bang, bang.
Yes, they did.
And they were Giants were all at sea there. Good carry here, still going.
Kerry Cummings has got a fourth in.
I'll just have a look at that.
So 44-6 the scoreline in that one. And that one floated, looked forward from this angle, but touch judge in better position. Joondalup come up with the ball. I don't know whether Tommy Fry, the ball player, is in the horoscopes. Not anytime soon, I wouldn't think. Coleman gets out of dummy half. He puts a kick in early in the count. Again, needing a bounce. It bounces kindly for the trainer over on the sideline. He tries to play a bit of hacky sack, but the 90s were a long time ago. That one goes out on the full.
They want some more points here. 20 seconds odd on the clock. I want to go again. Oh,
they're going to put the kick through as well.
No chase though.
And there's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, there is.
He took out the kicker.
Taken out.
The siren has sounded, but we've got to play out this last play. Do they take the 2 here to round it out? Do they have...
no, you have a go, don't you? What's the point of that?
Have a go. Have a go. Put up a bomb. See if Riley Bradley can grab a hat-trick. And they point for the 2.
Take the 2.
Well, they don't like fun as much as we do, Dave.
I don't... well.
I would like to see that.
You know what?
It'll
be?
Have a shot.
Yeah, they'll come down to the last round of the competition, and it'll literally be this kick that makes the difference. No, hold on. What are they doing? No.
They're taking the...
They are taking the 2.
They're taking the 2, but there was a few smiles as this may not be a genuine attempt at goal. Which is not allowed. It'll be interesting to see how the referee handles that if he does intentionally spray this one across the face for a try. So Jalen Gray to try and put the final 2 points on the board. Moves in. Raises the flags. We've got no controversy to finish off either. So 52 points to 12. The final scoreline, the North Beach Seagulls, well, they were convincing in that second 40. Not so convincing in the first 40, but I think Phil Duché and the Seagulls team, they'll be pretty happy with the way they finished that one off.
Yeah, especially the start of the second. I mean, they didn't start too well either. We mentioned that. The Giants came in last 30 seconds in the first 40 and scored a pretty good try, mind you. And we thought, geez, that really sets up the second half. They went into the sheds with full of confidence. And the kickoff, the Seagulls, they binned it somewhat. They made a meal of it, but then just off nothing. It was that interception that really broke it open.
Yep.
And from that, it was another, 2-3 tries. And within the first 10 minutes of the second half, the game was pretty much done. Yeah,
it was 12 minutes into the second half. And suddenly it went from 18-12 to 36-12, and that's game over. The Giants, they kept trying, but they were thoroughly outclassed from that point. The North Beach Seagulls, far too good. They'll retain their spot in equal top spot with the South Perth Lions. South Perth convincing winners against the Rockingham Sharks in the other game today. And, we might sit back and just keep hitting refresh and watch the score updates from the Willagee Bears and the Fremantle Roosters, as well as the Chico Motlop Shield, which is still going on as well.
The Rabbitohs have gone in again. So it is half time there at TRL Stadium in the top end. The Rabbitohs have gone in again and they're heading into the sheds. 8 points to 20 down. The Dragons leading currently. So might have a look at that.
There you go. You combined affiliated states and territories Super Saturday. It continues throughout the day, but from here in Western Australia, the broadcast here is done. We're done for the day, and thank you very much for joining us. A very good win for the North Beach Seagulls, 52 points to 12. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.